And we're recording, so give me one sec. Hey, it's still setting up. So,
Okay.
hey, welcome to our Facebook Live today. I'm really excited to chat a little bit more about the different areas of life that we focus on, that I focus on as a health coach. So as a health coach, I focus on healthy mind, healthy body, and then we also focus on healthy finances. And a few months ago, maybe longer ago, I brought in a good friend to help my husband and I focus a little bit more on our finances and get us into shape. And so tonight, I wanted to bring her on. So this is Katie Cahoon. That's right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, Cahoon. Anyway, Katie Cahoon, she has a degree in child development. However, while she was in school, she took some financial literacy courses and really enjoyed those. So fast forward a marriage and a couple kids later, and her and her husband, Jason, decided to start working in the financial services industry. They have a passion for teaching families about their finances, and they've really loved learning how to manage their finances better and then teaching those same concepts to others. They're both currently working on becoming securities licensed because they want to help families invest and grow their money. So they want to make it possible for those of us who have regular jobs to still be able to have a wonderful financial future. All right, Katie, thank you so much for being here.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, can you tell us from your perspective and in your opinion, what impact has COVID-19, social distancing, Utah's earthquakes, what impact has that all had on our financial market?
Oh man, I think we can all agree that we've all felt the impact on the financial market and all of this, with all of this COVID, this stuff going on. There's a lot of people who are living with a lot of uncertainty with the job market and people losing their jobs. We've actually felt that ourselves because, as for Jason with his day job, he was actually working at a car dealership recently, selling cars, and they had to let a lot of people go because nobody was coming in. Social distancing, people weren't coming into the dealership. We also know that there's been a huge hit to like the hospitality industry, with like hotels and things having to shut down, with what else, like restaurants and things having to slow down. So a lot of us are feeling a lot of that pressure, especially in our finances, knowing if we're going to be okay. If you've been keeping up on the stock market as well, you've noticed that there's been a huge dip. That's also taken a huge hit as well. And so that's kind of where we're at right now, just a lot of fear and uncertainty. And obviously, of course, that's all very justified as we've all been trying to figure this all out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my husband also works in the automobile industry. He was a finance manager at a car dealership here locally, and same thing happened. He didn't lose his job, but they had to move him to a different place, and so and cut back everybody's hours. It's really hitting everybody, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So Katie came to my house and sat down with me. My husband might have been there, I don't remember, but
Mm-hmm. He was.
He was, okay.
He was.
And, I think we all learn at some point in our lives what a debt snowball is. We all learn, you pay the thing off that has the highest percentage rate first. We all know this stuff. But it was so amazing to me to have Katie come in and totally non-judgmental. Now, I am much older than Katie, and she is my friend's niece. And so, I could have been totally intimidated. In fact, I think I even told her, look, Katie, don't judge us because our finances are struggling. And honestly, she didn't. She came in, she took notes, and she prepared this awesome report, brought it back, and gave us some forecasting ideas on when we could have things paid off, how we could do it, and some other options that we could invest in the future. And Katie, I want you to know that while my credit score is still struggling, my husband's has increased almost 100 points since you've
Excellent.
Yep.
Perfect.
And we are chunking away one thing at a time, Not as fast as we'd hoped because of everything happening with the economy, but we're still doing it. So anyway, we're feeling successful, and Katie gave us so much great insight and support. So I wanted her to share 3 tips that could help everybody during this crazy time create or improve their create healthy finances or improve their finances, even though it's so unpredictable. So Katie, what do you
Mm-hmm.
have for us?
Okay, so the first tip that I have is to save money where you can. Obviously, if you're worried about your job, if you're worried about paying things off right now, there are a lot of things that people don't think about to help cut those corners. And I'm not just talking about skipping the drive-through or skipping your Starbucks coffee in the morning, because we've all heard those tips before. um, One thing that you can really do that's very effective is actually save some money on your auto and home insurance or your renter's insurance. The best success I found is actually going to an independent insurance brokerage where they can compare a lot of rates for you at the same time, with lots of qualified companies, good companies, and get you the cheapest rate possible. Here in Utah, there's about a 50% chance that you can find something lower for the same amount of coverage. And I've even seen cases where you can get a lower price for even better coverage. I've had a client that was able to save $100 per month just on their car insurance, doing that for themselves. And another client that saved about half as much. They were able to knock their bill almost in half every month. And so that's a real blessing for families right now. Also, with the market being so low, this is a great time to refinance because interest rates are incredibly low. I just actually checked yesterday, and for mortgages, I've seen as low as 3.2%.
Oh my gosh.
Even like around 4% is obviously it depends on your credit score and things like that, but it never hurts to check. And if you can bring it down even just by 1%, you're looking at saving, $100 a month, maybe even $200 a month, just with those changes as well. So it's a great time to refinance the car, refinance your house. It doesn't hurt to check, even if you can just cut those corners a little bit. So that is my first tip: save money where you can, refinance, and then try to get lower rates on your insurances as well. That's another place where you can save, in
Now,
addition to everything else. Yeah.
you said with independent insurance brokers. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean?
So there are just brokerages out there. You might need to Google it. I know one. If you want to go through me, if you're not sure where to go, you can usually just Google it. These are people who their job is basically just to find you the best rate on insurance, and so they can usually compare, maybe a dozen or 2 dozen companies all at the same time for you, and just help you get the best coverage that is in place for your family. Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not going to Geico or Allstate or any one of those big name places. It's
Yeah. So
something you can pull from a lot of different companies.
so you're not going to go directly to Geico or Allstate. However, your insurance may be through one of those if that's the cheapest and best rate that you can get.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll let you go on. Sorry.
Perfect. Okay. Step number 2, or tip number 2. If you are without a job during this time, you would be really, really surprised at how lenient and understanding your creditors are going to be. I've heard lots and lots of successful stories from people who say, I'm out of a job, don't know what I'm going to do. And then they call up their mortgage company or their credit card company, and they're able to defer those payments for a few months. Obviously, they're going to take that and they're going to tack it onto the end of your term, so they make sure they get their money back. But if you have to choose between, feeding your kids and paying the mortgage, obviously you want to pay, or you want to feed your family. So generally, they're going to be very, very understanding. It can help you out with that as well. And yeah, that was my second tip. And you can do that with credit cards, car payments, anything that you might be in debt for, just for those payments. Obviously, try to avoid that if you can, because you want to get that paid off as soon as possible. But if that's what you need to do, I say now is the best time to do that. Tip number 3, So I mentioned the stock market a little bit earlier and how it's kind of crashing. If you look at the Dow Jones, which is one of the major indicators of how the market is doing, it's actually dropped about 7,000 points in the past month, which is it's almost a 30% drop. And so right now, the stock market is on sale. Anything that you want is on sale. Where a lot of people would be, pulling their money out, they're scared, they're losing money. Actually, the best course of action is to invest right now. Keep your money in whatever investment vehicle that you have. The market is always going to recover. If you remember, like the biggest one, obviously, is the Great Depression. Did we recover from that? Well, yes, obviously. Did we recover after 9/11? Yes, we did. We recovered after 2008. All of that stuff, the market always recovers. So if you invest now, your money is going to grow so much by the time we come out of this, which we will, and you'll come out even better than you were before. And so that is my third tip. And also along with that tip, you want to make sure, like, yes, you could go on and invest in whatever stocks that you want, but obviously the best course of action is to get a hold of somebody who is securities licensed. They can help you choose the best investment accounts that will work best for you and your family, how aggressive you want to be, how much you want to invest every month, things like that. And so then that way you can get the most out of your money that way. And so there you go. Those are my 3 tips.
Awesome. I love it. And they're all super simple. And there's lots of ways to invest. I mean, there's everything from acorns to working with a licensed security agent. So lots of opportunities there. And I love these ideas. These aren't the normal ones that you hear, like stop
Mm-hmm.
driving as much so you don't spend as much on gas and buy cheaper food. No, this is stuff that maybe we haven't thought of. So I love
Exactly.
it.
And it's stuff that will impact you for a long time. For example, if you refinance your mortgage, that stays with you for years. That'll help you out for the long term as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you find cheaper insurance and are investing, yeah, all of it is going to help you out in the long run. So
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Thank you, Katie. That was awesome. Again, thank you. And if you'd like to reach out to her and Jason to get more information on anything she's talked about, or to help her or to have her help you look at your finances and look at options for lots of different things, please reach out to her. Katie, how can they get a hold of you and Jason?
Okay, so your best bet would be to get a hold of Jason. His number is 845-505-8393. He'll be your best course of action. Of course, if you can't, if you'd rather go through me as well, you can contact me. My number is 801-696-6936, and then we can help hook you up with whatever questions or things you need help with.
Perfect. Okay, Jason's number again is
845-505-8393. And then mine is 801-696-6936.
awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. I'm so glad that we got to be together, and have a wonderful evening. Also, if you are watching this